This is for the woman who's not here to waste her story. I didn't grow up with faith. Nothing strong is built without pressure. Every test is a tool, every fall is a setup, every no can birth a better yes. Learn discernment along the way. Use that hardship as a tool to get sharper. Develop your endurance. Build integrity when no one is watching. This podcast isn't coming from a wish or theory. It's coming from intentionality and heart. 2026 isn't about being late, it's about being ready. This is not about platforms, this is about process. We will talk about what tested them, where they almost quit, how they stayed faithful. She's Built Different exists to remind us that growth isn't always loud. This podcast is a space for you. Wherever you are, however you arrive, welcome to She's Built Different. If you've landed here, my heart is that this would be a place you resonate with. A place that helps you ground yourself wherever you find yourself and reminds you that what you're navigating through isn't random. It's here to make you. My name is Melodie and I'll be your host. She's Built Different resonates deeply with me because I've spent my life watching my family build with grit and persistence, walking through seasons of both deep lows and meaningful highs, and learning firsthand that nothing strong is built without pressure. I didn't grow up with faith. I was rebellious, searching, and honestly running in the opposite direction until I encountered Jesus and everything changed. My life shifted radically. I pursued the Lord wholeheartedly. I made big decisions, moved cities, moved countries, spent over a decade serving and training in the local church, learning obedience, discipline, and what it means to follow God when the path isn't clear. And now I'm walking into new seasons, marriage, business, leadership, still serving faithfully, but also learning how calling expands over time. Along the way, I've met remarkable women of all walks of life, women in ministry, women in business, women in seasons of visibility, and women in seasons of quiet obedience. What connects them all is this: they were built on purpose in their own lane. And that's where She's Built Different was formed. This podcast is a space for you, wherever you are, however you arrive, to lean in, to learn, and to glean. These conversations are with women that I admire, women I'm still learning from, and women whose stories remind us that the process matters. The framework of this space is simple. Every test is a tool, every fall is a setup, and every no can birth a better yes. This is for the woman who's not here to waste her story. Welcome to the sisterhood. If you're here, I don't believe it's by accident. This isn't a podcast that was rushed. It took persistence to get here and to be released. It's not built for trends, not created to keep up. This is something that's been formed quietly, in prayer, in process, in waiting, and in obedience. Today, I just want to sit with you and tell you why this exists, what this space is for, and who it's for. She's Built Different was born out of pattern recognition. As I've walked through ministry, leadership, business, marriage, creativity, and faith, I kept meeting the same kind of women. She wasn't loud, but she was deep. She wasn't chasing visibility, but she was faithful. She carried responsibility, vision, calling, and weight. Women who were leading and serving, building something meaningful, carrying multiple roles, navigating unseen pressure, and quietly calling out, am I doing this right? Have I positioned myself properly? And what I've noticed was this: the women who endure, the women who last, the women who carry depth, wisdom, authority, and compassion, they weren't rushed into who they are. They were built. Built in hidden seasons, built through tension, built through obedience, built through seasons that don't make sense at the time. And I realized this. I realized that there was no space holding the language for that kind of woman, for the version of you that's in the process and in the middle in real time. Not the highlight reel version, not the overnight success story, the woman in the middle of figuring it out. And that's what She's Built Different is all about. When I say She's Built Different, I'm not talking about comparison. I'm talking about the construct of the woman built differently. of the Built Different woman. This podcast is rooted in the framework: every test is a tool, every fall is a setup, every no can birth a better yes. That's not motivational language. That's the lived mindset that we're going to work through. It's got to be your worldview to be built different. It means that the pressure you've walked through wasn't wasted. The rejection you've experienced isn't final. The delay did not disqualify you. The hidden seasons aren't punishment, they're preparation. Being built different doesn't mean that you avoided hardship. It means that hardship is shaping you instead of breaking you. It means that you learn discernment along the way, that you use that hardship as a tool to get sharper, to develop your endurance, and you build integrity when no one is watching. This podcast is for the woman who refuses to waste her story. So I want to say this, I want to declare this clearly. I could have launched this earlier, but timing matters. This podcast isn't coming from a wish or theory. It's coming from intentionality and heart. And 2026 isn't about being late, it's about being ready. I'm launching this in a season where I understand process more deeply. I lived through delay and refinement. I've learned how to hold both faith and responsibility. I've learned how to listen. I've learned not to give up, to not throw in the towel too soon. And I want this to be a space that's led from stability, not striving. She's Built Different is not rushed content. The goal is that it's anchored in conversation. Here's what you can expect when you step into this space. You'll hear conversations with women in ministry, business, women of impact, creativity, motherhood, marriage, hidden seasons, visible assignments, and some women will be known, some will be quietly faithful, but every woman will carry depth. This will not be surface level conversation. This is not about platforms. This is about process. So we will talk about what tested them, what shaped their obedience, where they almost quit and how they stayed faithful, what they learned in silence, and how God uses it all for the good. This is a space where faith and impact coexist. Calling doesn't have to look traditional. Obedience matters more than exposure, and growth is honored here. It's not rushed. My hope is that every episode reminds you that you are not behind, you are not forgotten, you are not disqualified, you're being forged to last. So if you lean in, that's what you'll get out of this podcast. So if you've ever felt overlooked, or if you've ever questioned, if you've ever wondered if the hidden season mattered, this podcast is for you. She's Built Different is a place to learn language for your process, gain perspective from your season, feel seen, and remember that God builds you intentionally. It's launch day and episode 1 is in the books. Let this space become a place of grounding, clarity, courage, and truth. So if you're here, welcome. Stay connected, planted, and trust the process. My hope is that today reminded you of something simple but powerful. What you're walking through is shaping you, and what feels heavy is building endurance. What feels quiet is often where the deepest work is happening. If this episode resonated with you, subscribe, share it with a sister, or come back when you're needing to feel grounded. She's Built Different exists to remind us that growth isn't always loud, and becoming doesn't need an audience. You are being built with intention, you're being shaped with care, and you were never meant to do this alone. Till next time.